Hello to all my sweet babies. Welcome back to my channel. As you know, I'm Sachi the Scorpio, and I am here to deliver your guided SEX erotica spread for the month of May. This is a spread that is going to help boost our sexual energy, what we can focus on to keep our sexual energy centers, unclogged. And happy Beltane, of course. On May 1st, we celebrated Beltane, which is all about celebrating the physical senses. So I have some oracles of earth spirits that we're going to be pulling because Beltane is all about Taurus season. Where are we planting our seeds? What do we plant now that we can reap the benefit of it during harvest season? And also, what is planted that's going to keep re-popping up every single, growing season? So part of planting seeds is literally planting the seed, if you know what I'm saying. All right. So we're going to look at that sort of sexual erotic energy. I suggest that you watch your sun, moon, and rising. I will timestamp all of the signs in the description box below. So I'm going to start with Aries and go to Pisces. And I hope everyone has a wonderful Beltane and Taurus season and happy May. And buckle up for all the fucking retrogrades. If you don't follow me on Instagram, I suggest that you do, because I write about the retrogrades that are going on because they are pretty serious. All right, we are going to start with Aries. What should Aries focus on sexually during the month of May? What is the sexual advice for Aries? So we have the World and the Lovers. Awesome. Two majors coming out. So very much feeling like you are on top of the world. And I feel like with everything that's been going on, you might have felt like you haven't been on top of things, that you haven't been wanting to, ride the world, so to speak. And because this is Saturn, I feel like it has to do with things that are regarding work and public life and, social structures and things like that. So it's very much getting back on that horse, and literally like fucking the world. And that's such an Aries thing. Like, I totally feel you. For the sexual energy, it's very much that aggressive, like going for it energy. That's something very special and beautiful within Aries, is their ability to take action. And look at her. She's a rootin' tootin' cowboy, like just riding the world with the gun in the air, like American, like just doing her shit, And I feel like that's very much something that can help boost your sexual energy, of really taking charge and feeling like I'm on top of the world. This is my fantasy. So I think that it's very much getting in tune with what makes you feel like you're in control of the world when the world feels so uncontrollable. That can really help boost your sexual energy during the month of May. And we also have the Lovers. So we have Gemini. So this is about like, communication and creative energy. So I think if those of you who have a partner, definitely, experimenting with your partner in terms of, what gets you to be a rootin' tootin' cowboy. But also very much, using sexual energy in artistic manners in order to, manifest some sort of creative or artistic endeavor, and maybe channeling your sexual energy to create a thing, and I'm not sure how much you know about sex magic, but if you've never heard of it, I suggest that you Google it, and learning how to use your orgasms to, create something else through that. And it really, if you're solo, that can really bring, your masturbation to a whole different level. Okay, let's see for like Taurus earth energy. What should Aries focus on to help with getting them in touch with the physical world? Because of course Beltane is about getting in touch with the physical senses. So what can help this physically help the sexual energy? Mountain strength. Yes, definitely focusing on your strength and of acting like you are an unmovable mountain, of being that strong force. And it's very much just like the world, like be strong and fucking figure out exactly what you want and go for it and get it, like create it no matter what. Like create that with a lover, even if that's with a creative endeavor or, something with a partner. Very much taking the strength and taking the reins and things in order to, to manifest whatever you want in your sexual world. So there you go, Aries. I hope that you enjoyed that. And please like, comment, subscribe. The more energy that you send me, the more I can send back to you. Okie dokie. Hello, my dear Taurus. Let's see. This is your season, so I expect you to be extremely sensual. But let's see what can help boost the sexual energy of Taurus during the month of May. So that came out quick. Wow, the Devil and the Hermit in reverse. This is all about getting out of that hermit mode and even going for, you know, the sexual energy that's ha-cha-cha, that might not be too good for us. You know, maybe this is a time to indulge a little bit in that, because with the Hermit in reverse, you know, this is very much like getting out of being alone. And I feel like, you know, Taurus in general enjoys the solitude, and I feel like the world has been on lockdown where we all feel like we've, you know, been forced to be the hermit. And like, if you try to force a Taurus to do anything, I mean, you know, it's not going to go well. So I feel like, you know, naturally you're inclined to be the hermit of just doing your own thing. That's one of the most beautiful things about Taurus. Like, yeah, you don't really need, you know, I mean, of course we all need love, but like, you are so independent with, if you can entertain your own physical senses, you're good. But because it's in reverse, it's like, all right, this has been like an infringement upon my own personal preferences, and now I'm ready to get out. So part of it is the Devil, which is Capricorn. And of course, you know, Capricorn, there's 3 retrogrades that are going on during the month of May: Pluto, Saturn, and Jupiter in Capricorn. So, or Saturn doesn't get there. It goes retrograde, but it doesn't go into Capricorn. Anyway, but very much is about, you know, getting in touch with, you know, more of the devilish side, quote unquote devilish, you know, whatever, you know, getting in touch with the hotter or maybe more taboo, you know, sort of sexual energy of really feeling hot, hot, hot. So I think that, you know, getting out of your hermit mode and going towards something that is very appealing. Maybe you might know like, oh, this isn't good for me, but I'm going to do it, and letting that be temporary. And I feel like that's very healthy for a Taurus and their sexual energy. So just know, you know, allowing yourself those sorts of like ha-cha-cha sort of pleasures, like, yeah, I think it might be okay for you guys, because like usually that's not really Taurus sexual energy. But I think that considering you've been constrained in a different way, it might be good to indulge a little bit on the erotic side. This can also be some sort of role play of like control role play is what I want to say. You know, the Devil is a very like controlling figure. So it can be, you know, that. And I also feel, you know, from Hermit in reverse to Devil is very much like if you've been in some masturbatory energy, to go towards sharing that sexual energy with somebody else. Because I think if you just put it inwards too much, it's gonna, you know, kind of turn sour. Like it's kind of turning dark or stagnant sexual energy. So you might want to share that with someone who can kind of balance your sexual energy wherever it is. All right, let's see. What should Taurus get in touch with earthwise to help the sexual energy during the month of May? Whoa, I wanted to fall to the ground. Rebirth, spring equinox. So, you know, Beltane is between the spring equinox and the summer solstice. So there is some aspect of rebirth. And how I was talking about, you know, all those retrogrades. Retrogrades really help us bring a rebirth. And Pluto's going retrograde, and Pluto being the planet of rebirth, there is something going on in your specific chart that is happening, you know, where Pluto's going retrograde, which is 25 to 21 degrees Capricorn. So check your own natal chart about that and see what is being rebirthed in your life. This is literally Capricorn. You know, the Pluto retrograde in Capricorn, we have that rebirth. So I don't know if you follow me on Instagram, but go ahead and check that out, Sachi the Scorpio, because I write about what this retrograde entails, and I really do think that that is what is going to specifically being like rebirthed in your life of that earth. Okay, Taurus, I hope that you got what you needed. And as always, please like, comment, subscribe. The more energy you send to me, the more I can send back to you. And I hope to see you again for the next reading. All right, my Geminis. Hello, hello. My, you had quite the spread this past month, but let's see what we can do to help your sexual energy, to boost it up during the month of May. What should Gemini focus on for their sexual energy? Knave of Water. Interesting. So don't get too seriously emotionally invested in anyone is what I'm getting. Like, there's definitely going to be some people who are going to want to conquer you, you know, emotionally conquer you, but just know that it's not really a mature emotional energy. Like, the Knave of Water isn't too serious, but if you are with somebody, you know, definitely some Scorpios, some Cancers, some Pisces are going to be coming for you for sure. It's spring and, you know, they're all out hunting. So, you know, there is some aspect of that. So be wary, but also, you know, to uplift your sexual energy, you might be wanting to experiment with some things of like being taken hostage, you know, like he has her thrown over the shoulder and sort of like power dynamics. And as you see, you know, she does have some, she's taken a little bit of a little spanky spank beating or whatever, you know. So if you're into that, like, go for it. If you haven't experimented with that, if you have a trusted partner, that might be a thing that you want to explore, because it really is very much that sort of power dynamic, but more so an emotional hold, if anything. So experimenting with your sexual energy in terms of the emotional, you know, hold that someone can have over you, and those sorts of power dynamics, whether it's physical or emotional. All right, let's see what you should get in tune with the Earth to help your sexual energy during the month of May. Ooh, that wanted to go right in my lap. Tree, grounding. Yeah, it wanted to go right into my root chakra. That's exactly where it went. There's very much an aspect of grounding yourself to nature. And I'm not sure if maybe having someone have emotional control, or you emotionally controlling someone else, or even you physically controlling someone else will make you feel powerful and grounded. But very much, you know, like Beltane in general, it's about where do you plant your seeds in order, you know, for the roots to form. So it's very much focused on, you know, where are you grounding yourself. So get in touch with with nature. You know, as a Gemini, I mean, like, both sides of your twins, you know, they are very airy, and they're, you know, in the air, in the clouds usually, and back and forth, you know, they're everywhere. And that's a beautiful thing about you. That's why you're the most creative and intellectual, you know, but that's why grounding yourself is so important. And especially when you get into sexual energy, because sexual energy is very much experiencing something with a partner. And, you know, as the twins, you have your own partner within you and you don't need nobody. But, you know, when we connect sexually, it is important to make sure that we can connect with somebody else. And grounding yourself and doing meditations where you can root yourself to the earth, or root yourself to even your own physical body, can really help with your sexual energy. So, okay, Gemini, I hope that you got what you needed. Please like, comment, subscribe. The more energy you send me, the more I can send back. And I really hope that I see you for the next read. Bye-bye. Hello, my sweet, sweet Cancers. I want to say the shuffle I just did before I said that was so ridiculously loud. I heard it ringing in my ear. So I don't know if, like, for some reason being louder might help some of your sexual energy, but we shall see. All right, what can help the sexual and erotic energy for Cancer for the month of May? Wow, what an interesting shuffle. It's like it doesn't want to come out for some reason. Yeah, the Priest in reverse. So there's some sort of like hypocritical or hidden sexual energy that, you know, you've been keeping to yourself that needs to come out. Very Taurus in reverse. So, like, you know, as the Priest, the Taurus energy is getting in touch with the physical senses. All of like the Beltane energy, that I was talking about in the intro. It's getting in touch with, you know, where you plant your seeds, which of course is your sexual release, but also, you know, like, what do you eat? What do you drink? What makes you feel safe? Like, all the things in the physical world, you know, and it's like letting go of like the basic necessities and worrying about the basic necessities of what's going on. And I think with everything that's happening in the world, that is very much, you know, a fear of Cancerian energy, which is very mothering, which is very concerned about how do I take care of, you know, others around me first, you know. I mean, of course you take care of yourself for sure, but in Cancer heavy energy, you know, whether you're Cancer, sun, moon, or rising, it very much is like, how do I take care of those that I love? And, you know, with that uncertainty, I feel like that's kind of really taken a toll on your sexual energy. So I think reclaiming that power that you have can really help boost your sexual energy of, you know, of not feeling like you have to have all the answers either, you know, like you don't have to be the priest, but there is something else that, like, I'm going to ask for one more. Tell me more about the sexual energy for Cancer. What can help boost Cancer sexual energy? Four of Earth in reverse. So this is Capricorn energy in reverse. I feel like there has been some sort of sexual energy that you have been begging for, or something where you've really, you know, felt like you needed to ask or beg, or, you know, and it's like, don't, like, that energy needs to be let go of out of your sexual energy. I don't know if you've been, maybe someone has been withholding that kind of energy from you, but you need to let that go. And this is very earthy. You know, we have Taurus and Capricorn coming out, and those are super heavy earth cards. And sexual energy, you know, even though it is in the physical realm, you kind of don't want it to be very earthy, because naturally it's an earthly experience when you share it with somebody else. So, you know, kind of get out of what the physical senses is, get more into the emotional, the intellectual, the fiery aspect of sex, and try not to focus too much on the physical world, is what I'm getting. Which is interesting, because it usually is a time to tap into the physical world. But I feel like because you are a Cancer, or you have Cancer energy in you, the physical world is so stimulating that now it's like time to, you know, learn that you need to put a boundary with the physical world, because it is so overwhelming right now. That's what I'm getting. All right, let's see. What should Cancer focus on for the earth healing spirits for their sexual energy? What should Cancer focus on for the spirits? Oh. Power. Yes, lightning power, definitely. Like, there's no begging here anymore. This is very much focusing your own sexual power, and I feel like it's on yourself. Like, no more hypocrites, no more begging. Like, focusing on your own power, and like, how do you bring that lightning to yourself? You know, how do you sexually charge yourself, not in relation to anybody else? So, fuck yeah, Cancer, good for you. All right, I hope that you got what you needed. Please like, comment, subscribe. The more energy you send to me, the more I can send back to you. And I hope to see you for the next reading. Bye. La 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 Leos. La 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 Leos. Let's take a look at what we can do to help your sexual energy in the month of May. What should Leo focus on? The Six of Water. This is a Scorpio sun. So there's some scorpionic energy of getting more in, like, deep emotionally into your sexual stuff. So, you know, this is hard for Leo because it's the polarity, you know, like, Leo sun is fixed fire. Scorpio sun is fixed water. So it's very much getting in tune with the element that you are, you know, the hardest for you to understand or comprehend. So it is getting in touch with the deeper emotions, but, you know, letting people know that it's safe to be in those emotions. Like, you know, she's there like, hey, you know, it's okay to be deep in those waters. Like, come on out, you know. And also, like, the beast is beckoning the woman to get deeper into the water. So it's very much, you know, like, who's where, you know, who's where during what time emotionally during things. So I think maybe some sort of like emotional control sort of sexual energy might be involved. I'm not sure how much you do in terms of channeling your sexual energy into emotional depth when you're in a sexual situation, but I do think that, you know, playing around with that energy is something that can be very fulfilling to you, of feeling how you can channel your sexual energy into making someone else feel emotionally more deep, or someone else, you know, playing with your emotions during the sexual energy to make you feel more deeper into the emotions. So I do think that getting in touch with the water aspect of the sexual realm would really do you some good in May. Let's see, Earth spirits, what can help Leo do this? What can help Leo get to this emotionally deep place? Ooh, that wanted to come right at me. Wow, DNA karma. So this is somehow in your DNA to release this sort of energy of getting emotionally deep into situation. This is like an ancestral cycle that you need to complete. And I'm not sure if maybe, you know, in your parents' lives, or, you know, your own ancestral trauma and things like that, where sexual energy was not shared in an emotionally deep setting. It might have been more on the animalistic end, or, you know, maybe as a chore just to create a child or something, where like emotions aren't necessarily part of the formula of, you know, having sex or making love, which if you made love, you know, it's a very different experience. And, you know, maybe that's what you're learning, is the depths of making love, of getting into that scorpionic, that deep water sort of shit, you know. And this is very much an ancestral thing that you are healing, a cycle that you are going through of learning that sort of emotional depth through the sexual realm. So know that this journey that you're on is very much helping to heal your DNA. So just know that. All right, Leo, I hope that you got what you needed, and please like, comment, subscribe. The more energy you send to me, the more I can send back to you, and I hope to see you again for the next read. Bye. My vivacious Virgos, let's see what is going to help Virgo with their sexual energy in the month of May. Wow, that's way too many. There's a lot that needs to go on. I know, Virgo, I know. I feel you. You guys you're amazing to have sex with because you're so particular. You know exactly what you want and how you want it for the most part. But let's see, what can Virgo focus on? The moon in reverse. So this is revealing some sort of secrets. This is Piscean energy in reverse, where it's like, you don't want to keep this shit hidden anymore. You know, you really want to be exploring more of the, you know, light in the shadow. So I think that it's very much, you know, maybe like tapping into what you know that you like, that's a little bit more into the shadow realm of things. But also I feel like there is another situation that you're dealing with that you need to know kind of what they feel, or maybe if they have like another, that you're like suspicious that they might have another partner or something. And I feel like that's kind of in your sexual energy. But very much an emotional thing, because it is, you know, the Piscean. I'm going to ask for more, because there's a lot going on there. Like, so much came out, Virgo, as you know. Like, a lot of Virgos are feeling some different shit. But we have the Six of Air and the Priestess. Yeah, there is some sort of energy that you think that there's a hidden relationship. And, you know, here we have the moon with the Priestess, and the Six of Air I take as being out on the town. This is Aquarius Mercury. So this is, you know, communicating with the town and, you know, having your legs open for everyone to see, which I usually associate with either literally being out on the town, kind of like la-di-da, you know, or I also associate it with like being on a dating site or social media or something where, you know, the whole town can see and you're communicating with people. And here we have, you know, the priestess, which is the moon again, which is all about looking at the darkest parts of ourselves. So it can be, you know, that you are kind of exploring this sort of darker energy, maybe just through texting or through some sort of community-based outreach or something. But there can also be a worry about, you know, someone else communicating with, you know, I feel like sexting more than actually having sex with them. But, all right, what should Virgo focus on for earth healing to help their sexual energy? Also, like, let me say that you can get in touch with some of the more fun, maybe darker sides or hidden parts of yourself through more of an online relationship of getting on like a dating site or just talking to someone online. Like that is totally a thing here, and I empower you to do that if that tickles your fancy. All right, so what should Virgo focus on in the physical world to help this? What can help Virgo on this erotic adventure? Emergence, dragonfly. So there's very much some sort of old, outdated, you know, thought pattern that you've had that you are going to be emerging from, like the dragonfly. This is very much, you know, dragonfly, dragon being like a very spiritual, you know, mythical creature where you are really evolving in your sexual energy, and you might be emerging out of old thought patterns. So, you know, like things with the moon in reverse that you might have not wanted to look at before and you were afraid of that darkness. Now you're like, I'm ready. You know, I'm looking in the mirror at the darkest parts of myself. Like, yep. So good for you, Virgo. That's amazing. All right, please like, comment, subscribe. The more energy you send to me, the more I can send back to you. And have a very good May, and I hope to see you again for the next read.